our meeting of the Sacramento County LAFCO. Thank you all for coming this evening. Madam Clerk, would you mind doing a roll call for us?
Sure. Commissioner Peters? Here. Cerna?
Here.
Hume?
Here.
Little?
Here.
Greenwood?
Here.
Ashby? Here. Thank you. We have a quorum.
Good timing. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, at this time, I'd like to go to the pledge. Director Hume, would you mind leading us?
I would. Please address the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I apologize for calling you a director. You're a commissioner, but...
Just don't call me late for dinner.
No, I won't do that either. No. Okay, at this point, I'd like to remind you that this meeting of the Local Agency Formation Commission is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T UVerse. The meeting is also webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting will be repeated Saturday, August the 5th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14. This meeting is also closed captioned. We ask that you please turn off, at this time, any of your cell phones or noise-making devices. Your speaker clips are located at the table in the back and on the front podium, so if you would like to speak to the commission, please fill one of those out and hand it to the clerk here at the front table. Thank you very much. Okay, with that, we move to our agenda. Agenda item number 1 and 2 and 3 are the consent calendar items. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second by Cerna and seconded by Hume. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then any further comments or discussion? Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Motion approved. Moving on to business items. First item is item number 5, Cal LAFCO voting delegate. We do have a Cal LAFCO meeting coming up in October, I believe it is.
Yes.
At this time, there's our chance to nominate. We have to name somebody to be our voting delegate. Who is going, Madam Clerk? Do we know?
Pardon?
Who is going to myself going to the?
I believe so far it's yourself, Commissioner Jones, and Commissioner Green have responded. And
Jones
anyone
and
else,
Green and myself?
Yes. And if anybody else would like to
Anybody else think?
please let me know before next week. I have to turn in the registrations.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was that last part about next week?
I have to turn in the registrations next week to Cal LAFCO.
Okay,
Otherwise
so if you plan to go, please let Diane know so we can get you registered. Okay, we have to nominate somebody to be our voting delegate. Any motion?
If the chair would like to do it, I'd nominate the chair.
I'd be more than willing to do it. Okay. I have a motion and a second.
So was that Hume and Cerna?
Pardon me?
Was that Hume and Cerna? Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else?
Excuse me,
Anybody wants to
Chair.
nominate?
Excuse me, Chair Greenwood. They also, Cal LAFCO also request that the commission appoint or designate an alternate voting member just in the event there's a conflict of schedule.
Okay.
I plan on attending. I'm happy to fill that role if you'd like.
Okay, you'd be the alternate, you said?
I would amend my motion as such.
Okay.
Second the amended motion.
Did you get the motion?
I did.
The amended
Thank
motion? Okay. Myself and then Executive Director Don Lockhart.
Correct.
Okay. In that case, everybody in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you. Now we have voting delegates. Important thing coming up here also is with regards to positions on the Cal LAFCO Board of Directors. And I do know that one of our own, Gay Jones, she's very active at Cal LAFCO, and I know she's planning to run, she is running for a position on the board. So anyway, is there anything we need to do beyond that as far as we have to approve her nomination?
To be clear, Commissioner Jones's term is still intact. She has a 4-year term.
Okay.
But there are 2 vacant seats. One is a city seat for this region, so any city member or alternate city member could be nominated. And then I believe it's the public member, either the public member or the alternate public member could be nominated.
Okay, but just one from the special districts.
We have, the only seats open on Cal LAFCO's board right now are the public seat and the city seat, one city seat.
Okay. So the chair would entertain any motions anybody might have for nominations for the Cal LAFCO board.
I would assume that the city seat is longer term than the remainder of this calendar year.
They're all 4-year terms.
Yeah, so I'd come off LAFCO at the end of the year.
Okay. Yes. Commissioner Ashby.
Okay. Does this decision need to be made tonight?
No, ma'am. The nominations need to be made by the commission, and they have to be provided to Cal LAFCO by, I think, September 21st. So we could bring it up again at the September meeting.
Okay. So we
Yeah, I
can put
just
off the
don't
next-
quite understand the commitment. I need to know a little bit more about that. 4 years extends beyond my current term as a council member, as well as on the LAFCO board, but I'd be happy to learn a little bit more about it from you.
Okay.
Sure.
We can hold that off to the next board meeting.
That'd be fine.
would it
Thank
be-
you, I appreciate it.
Would it be fair to state that there are other LAFCOs that would be putting nominations into? Yeah.
Yes, there's, the Cal
So you
LAFCO
don't
state is statewide, and there's 4 regions. We're in the central region, so there's about, I think, 6 or 7 counties. So any city member of any of those, in any of those LAFCOs is eligible, and as well as any public member or alternate is eligible to.
So we don't have to put a name forward, but if we wanted to, those are the 2 categories.
Correct.
Great. Well, from my standpoint, if we could put it off one meeting, that would help me.
Good.
And maybe, Mr. Lockhart, maybe you would come meet with me and tell me a little bit more about it.
Happy to do that. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you.
Okay, great. Good. Anybody else that might have interest there too, give you a chance to do and act on it if you want to. So, okay. Thank you all very much. I think that concludes our agenda item number 6.
So were we going ahead and nominating Commissioner Jones, or were we going to hold off
I think we're
until
going to hold
next
off to the
month?
next board meeting.
Okay, we're holding off.
Am I correct?
She doesn't need to be nominated. She's still in the middle of her
She's just
term.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So it's
Correct.
better off that we wait anyway. So,
Correct.
okay. All right. Any other discussion or okay? Moving on to public hearing items. We received a packet, at least I did, a CD in the mail, but also there's a resolution that you should have in front of you that was on resolution LAFC 2017-09-0802 regarding certifying the final environmental impact report for the Eastern Pacific Plan area for the City of Galt reorganization, annexation to the City of Galt, and detachment from the Galt Irrigation District. In fact, if we have any public comment item, I don't know if we have any cards, Madam Clerk?
Usually we take the staff report from staff first. And
Okay,
it describes the item.
Donna, do you want to speak to that?
Sure, I appreciate the opportunity. Briefly, what I'd like to do this evening, this is a reorganization in that there are both an annexation and detachments. It's about 500 acres within the City of Galt sphere of influence on the eastern side, just south of Twin Cities Road. It is within the sphere of influence, as I said, since 1995. The environmental impact report was prepared by the City of Galt as the lead agency because they were required to pre-zone the properties. We did consult with them early in the process, and we did make comments on the document throughout the process, including formal comments to the notice of availability, notice of preparation, and the draft itself. The comments, or the final EIR is responsive to those CEQA comments. So it would be a recommendation of staff that you do approve that resolution. I'm happy to talk about the overall project if you'd like, or if we just want to take that action.
Any comments from the Commission? Yes, Commissioner Cerner.
Yeah, I have a question. Don, what's in front of us tonight, the list of actions, is what we're being asked to consider tonight lock us in or lock the applicant into anything more specific than the land use plan that is presented as Exhibit 3-2? That's a land use plan that, for instance, has designations such as LDR for low density residential, MDR for medium density residential, and so forth. reason I asked the question is I've had a chance to speak with my colleague on the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Natoli, and just wanting to educate myself about this proposal a little further. The LDR specifically along, I guess it would be the west side of Cherokee Lane.
Right.
Would there be a subsequent? I assume there would be a subsequent approval by the City of Galt, assuming that it's annexed per our action tonight, to put a different level of specificity to what LDR means, or what we are being asked to approve tonight? Is that lock the applicant and the city into a specific density or density range?
Well, in this case, as I say, it's a requirement of both your local policies and state law that the city take action to assign pre-zoning prior to making an application. In this case, this project's been finding its way through process since 2014, I believe. And during that, and then in this past April, I believe, excuse me, a little bit further back, in 2016, the city council took action to approve a litany of development entitlements, a development agreement, the pre-zoning, the tentative maps. So I believe that, yes, the action by the commission would complete the proceedings, and there is a citation in Cortese-Knox-Hertzberg LAFCO code that any pre-zoning in place, any general plan amendments in place cannot be, at the time of an annexation approval, cannot be changed for a period of 2 years unless there's compelling information that's taken up by the city council in public hearing.
Let me rephrase the question. Is there anything based on our actions tonight that could keep the city from assigning specific densities? Maybe they've already done it, that, for instance, take into consideration an interest in feathering densities away from, as the further west you move away from Cherokee, the higher the relative density. The logic being, or the rationale that's been presented based on, again, a discussion I've had with Supervisor Natoli, is that on the other side of Cherokee, I guess you have some 5-acre lots, and then further south, I think there are some 20-acre minimums. And so I'm just wondering, is what we're doing blessing the pre-zoning that actually exists at that level of specificity that begins to talk about whether they're 2-acre minimums or 5-acre minimums, or 7 units per acre, 5 units per acre?
Go ahead.
Mike's working. What you have before you is the pre-development map, and I'm going to ask Mr. Abbott to come up and speak further. But it doesn't, if you're asking, does it lock the hands of or tie the hands of the council? They can move densities within a plan, just, within the EIR boundaries. But I don't, in other words, you can move things around within the plan, and their densities, I think, are ranges. And so
for
there's
instance,
movement there.
So I think I understand that in concept, but let's take another step further. Does that mean that they would then just have the flexibility to assign densities within whatever LDR assigns in terms of the bookends, the highs and the lows in that range?
I believe so, but
I know that this project went through several hearings and workshops with the Planning Commission, with the City Council. City staff and development representatives are here, so it might be worth hearing from them to see how they arrived at this mix.
Chairman, members of the commission, Bill Abbott, an attorney for the developer in this project. We also have city representatives here that can explain their planning. Just to make sure you're aware exactly where this project is in the entitlement process, after a lengthy processing through the city, the end result was the certification of the EIR, the approval of a specific plan, approval of vesting tentative maps, and a development agreement, all of which, at least from the relationship between the developer and the city, established the densities. Supervisor Natoli had raised concern about the interface between the eastern edge of the project and the areas to the outline east. And our client had committed to, and it's reflected in the plans, that there's an increased setback. They're not 5 acre, those aren't 5 acre lots on the east. This is a suburban residential density project. So
You mean on the west, right?
at the east end of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, at the east end of the project. So along Cherokee, north to south. So they increased, and we thought it was responsive to Supervisor Natoli's concern.
Okay.
They increased the setback, the landscaping, and there's a wall there. So there certainly is physical separation, but
So a buffer, essentially.
a buffer.
Okay,
But it's
what's-
not a transitional buffer like
I get that. What's the width? You know?
on the
On the buffer.
on the buffer. 35 feet of landscaping plus the wall.
So that's when, at 36 foot, that's when the wall goes up. Okay. Okay. But the idea is that beyond the wall, you would have standard 5 and 7 units per acre, that kind of thing.
Correct.
And it sounds to me the city's pretty far along if they've already approved tentative maps.
This project is very detailed.
Got it. No, I'm kind of twitching because it reminds me of a certain project I once worked on. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or discussion from the commission? Questions? Yes, Nancy, you going to say something? Oh,
No, sorry, I was just getting my mic to work. Pardon me.
okay. Well, seeing none, we'll move on. Yes.
Mr. Chair, if there's no further questions by the commission, no further public speakers, I'll move the item.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second?
Do we need to take the resolution separately? There's a slew of them.
Yeah, we have
You can take them all together.
That's my motion.
all together?
Take
Okay.
them all
That's your
together.
motion, to
Yeah.
take them all together? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Did you get that?
Who was the second? Sorry.
Was Hume?
Hume.
Okay.
And before we vote, I'll just comment that I know from personal experience this land has been contemplated for development for every bit of 15 years. So it's finally, the market is there for it to come to be.
Finally happening. Okay. Okay, any further questions or discussion again? Please go ahead and vote.
All in favor, motion passed. Let's
Okay, thank you very much.
display here.
All right. I believe that's it then. Moving on to public hearing item, questions and announcements. Executive Officer Don, some things you want to talk about?
I do have something to just touch upon this evening. It was included in your agenda packet. We've heard from the Sacramento County Grand Jury on two items. One is regarding the status of the Harold Fire Protection District Municipal Service Review. As you know, we initiated that process some time ago. There was a little bit of turnover in staffing and their board. It's stabilized now, and we're working with them. We expect to have a draft for y'all's consideration in perhaps September. The balance of the discussion from the grand jury was discussing over the Commission's overall approach to municipal service reviews. And I think what we'd like to do is put together a work plan and a formal response and bring that back to the Commission in September.
Yeah. Yes, Commissioner Peters.
Thank you. And Ms. Miller would be part of that
Absolutely.
committee?
Yes, and just so that you know, that a lot of the facts in this report are not accurate. So the completion of MSRs is been substantially done, and there was a miscommunication, I'm afraid, here, and so we're working with the grand jury to make sure that they have all the accurate information. And they went to our website wasn't completely up to date, but there should have been some communication between they and us before they printed this. They have some good suggestions, but in terms of the facts about what's been done and what hasn't, you'll see when we come back that it's not accurate. So, thanks.
So you will respond to all of that?
Yes,
in
we
the
will have
response?
a whole packet,
Great.
a draft for you.
Good. Yeah, I think we need to. We have to. Yeah, that's
Right. We were going to try to put something together because a lot of the things they said are just, we thought they needed to be responded to quickly, but we just received it, so we're going to take some time. We'll bring it back to you in the draft in the September meeting.
okay. Thank you. That's it?
That was my only comment, yes.
Okay, great. All right, we'll see you none. And I don't see there's no more public here for public comment. With that, we'll consider the meeting adjourned. Thank you.